Let me be clear. While Eminem was definitely a star before 8 Mile came out, I would dare say that this film endeared him to an entire generation. A story in the week in the life of not Marshall Mathers, but Jimmy B. Rabbit Smith Jr., aka B. Rabbit. It's not exactly autobiographical, but it's close enough to the real thing, to what Eminem actually grew up in, the environment that he was in. It's close enough to the myth because he did grow up in Detroit. He was a guy who rap battled frequently and had to scrum around to figure things out. While there is no Haley, there is very clearly a stand in Lily, Rabbit's little sister. There's also various topics that we can discuss, but first I would like to talk about the hopelessness that is seemingly rampant in this film. There's no real amount of stability for Rabbit as he bounces around in life, literally trying to work on his rap game and hope that he can get a record deal, a record label, and try to make enough to be able to make things happen in his life. He's surrounded by friends that are seemingly loyal, but there's a double-edged sword there. Ever heard the saying, show me your friends and I'll show you your future? Well, in there lies your problem. Rabbit's friends are true homies, but they also seemingly lack the motivation to really do more. I'll dive into details later, but seemingly these guys are okay with barely getting by rather than reaching for more. There is a point where they go burn down a house that was used by a homeless man to hurt a kid. I'm not going to go into details. But they go and burn down the house out of love. It's because, it could have been Lily, which is a fair point that could have been made. Now, they're real ones. They are real day one people, and those are so hard to come by the more successful you are. So you can tell that's why Jimmy loves his friends. That said, let's go further down the road. I want to talk about Alex, played by the late great Brittany Murphy. Initially seems like Rabbit's love interest, his reward for becoming a better rapper and, winning the rap battles and trying to get a deal together. She is desperate to get out of Detroit and make something of herself at any given cost. Now, she seems to really like Jimmy on a personal level, but as the film goes on, especially on a rewatch, you begin to see that she isn't a day one person, but instead the kind of woman who wants to be with someone that can take care of her, at the very least get her out of the dead end that is Detroit. No offense to the Lions. This is where Wade, a wheeler and dealer who wants to be a part of anything and everything, kind of a charlatan's not the right phrase, but anyway, he's all talk for the most part. He wants to be there. He sees that there's talent in Jimmy. However, Jimmy ends up showing up at a recording session he said he wasn't going to go to. He walks in on Wade and Alex having relations because of YouTube. Jimmy throws down and beats up Wade, but then he gets jumped in kind by the rap group led by Papa Doc. There's also more to the story as he gets into a fight with Future because he doesn't want to do the rap battle because he was humiliated, and he even tells Future, "You're not my father," which I think Jimmy's just frustrated with where he is in life and he's lashing out on some level. His friends love him, let me be clear about that. There's also a really good side story I like with MC Bob, who shoots himself while trying to defend 313, aka like Rabbit's group, when they're getting into a fight with Free World, another rap group, which is like, I don't know, people like come up with their own factions in this, I guess. But anyway, there's something funny when all these guys are brawling, but Bob pulls out a gun and everyone says, "Dude, that's too far." Like there's something innately funny about that to me. They go to check on Cheddar Bob, but he's not there. He's asleep, so they leave, except for Rabbit, who sneaks in through the back. Checks on him, and he understands why Bob doesn't want anyone coming in to see him right now. He doesn't want to hear anyone make fun of him, which Rabbit can understand. Rabbit also has a very complicated relationship with his mother, and her shortcomings of not wanting to work, much like Alex. She's trying to get someone who can take care of her or find someone who is willing to give her the world. All of this comes to a head in the rap battles that Jimmy participates in. What he says in his rap battles are what made people love Eminem and his music in the first place. He goes after himself in the rawest way possible. He does live at a trailer park with his mom. He is a bum. He did get jumped by all 6 of you chumps, and I'm not going to say the whole rap, but it goes on and on. How do you insult a man that's so self-aware and still stands there and says, "I am"? Jimmy does win the rap battle. He ends up winning the whole thing, but arguably the most telling part of this whole film is when he resigns himself to go back to work after winning instead of going out to party. He wants to do things on his terms and the right way, and that'll lead him towards success in the long run. Along with an anthem that you can play to change your life in Lose Yourself, 8 Mile is a legitimate contender for the best movie about a musical artist ever, and I'll die on that hill. For me at least, it's a 9 out of 10. A movie I revisit at least once or twice a year. That said, what do you think of 8 Mile? Let us know down below. We'd greatly appreciate it. We'll catch y'all next time. See you, everybody.